Are students afraid to walk around their campuses? This question has been echoing across the halls of academia as student protests gain momentum at universities from coast to coast. At the heart of these protests, we find the simmering issue of the Gaza war and the call for divestment from Israel. Campuses like NYU, Columbia, Yale, Brown, MIT, Michigan, Cal Poly Humboldt, and UC Berkeley have become the epicenters of these demonstrations. The students are not just demanding divestment, but also financial transparency and amnesty for those arrested. But these protests are not without their share of controversy. Safety concerns for Jewish students have been raised alongside calls for support for Palestinians. These issues have sparked a national debate on the role of free speech and student activism, revealing deep-seated divisions among students and challenging the very beliefs that academic institutions stand for. As these protests continue, the question remains, are students feeling safe in their own campuses? Well, what role do academic institutions play in these challenging times? That's the question on everyone's mind as campuses across the country become the foreground for protests and debates. Universities and colleges, traditionally seen as bastions of intellectual freedom and expression, are now grappling with their role amidst the unrest. They face the delicate task of balancing the right to free speech with maintaining a safe and conducive learning environment. Some universities, like UC Berkeley, have witnessed the formation of peaceful encampments on their grounds, with students voicing their demands for an end to conflict and divestment from defense contractors. These institutions are not just silent observers, but active participants in the dialogue. Their response to these situations, whether it's providing a platform for discourse or addressing student concerns, can shape the course of these protests. In essence, universities are now finding themselves at the crossroads of maintaining academic integrity and addressing societal issues. They have the challenging task of navigating these turbulent times while ensuring the safety and well-being of their students. The role of these academic institutions is not just to educate, but also to foster an environment where diverse opinions can be expressed and heard, where beliefs can be challenged, and where students can learn from real-world issues. As institutions of learning, universities have a responsibility to ensure that their students are safe and their voices are heard. How does political influence factor into these protests? In these times of heightened political tension, the lines between the personal and the political, between the classroom and the public square, are becoming increasingly blurred. The result? A surge in student activism that is reshaping the landscape of higher education. With political ideologies clashing on campus, it is clear that student activism is at an all-time high. What should school administrators be doing to help quell the situation? This question is at the forefront of many minds as we navigate the current unrest on campuses across the nation. One potential solution lies in fostering open dialogue. The importance of communication between students and administration cannot be overstated. When students feel heard, seen, and understood, it can go a long way in alleviating tensions. Transparency is another crucial factor. Universities need to be clear about their financial relationships, especially when they're the cause of contention. Students are demanding financial transparency, and rightly so. When institutions are transparent about their investments and affiliations, it builds trust and can help to quell the unrest. The role of the university in promoting a safe and inclusive environment is another area to focus on. Universities need to ensure that they are spaces where all students, regardless of their beliefs or backgrounds, feel safe and secure. This might mean reassessing security measures, providing support for students who feel threatened, and making sure there are clear policies in place against discrimination and harassment. In response to the protests, we've seen some universities taking steps in the right direction. They're opening up avenues for dialogue, reassessing their investments, and taking a hard look at their policies. These actions, while commendable, are just the beginning. There's still a lot of work to do. In the end, it's not just about quelling the unrest, but about fostering an environment where students feel safe to express their views and beliefs. Some say the ultimate goal is to create campuses that are not just places of learning, but also spaces where students can grow, challenge and be challenged in a safe and supportive environment. In this next segment, the views and opinions expressed in this later part of the video are solely mine and do not necessarily reflect the views of the institutions or other associated parties. All image content is either fair use or via paid services. From my point of view, this is where things differ. As a former student and as a parent, knowing the costs of a high-priced education for a bachelor's, master's, PhD, law school, medical school, etc., I feel conflicted about the use of college and university campuses for protests. Why? It's distracting and sometimes very negative. The need for attention at everyone else's expense, protesting, seems unfair to many of the students who are there to get an education that does not include courses in activism. I'm not saying that you can't protest, however, if protests were only allowed on weekends or only in a school parking lot, and a fee had to be paid by the protest organizers. My guess is things would be a lot different. Big question. Did you ever protest while at college? Leave a comment below and tell us if you ever participated in a protest if you want. Yes or no? We will tally up your answers and let you know the results in a follow-up video. We are counting on you to subscribe and like this video and truly appreciate you.